Hi everybody, my name is Jim with RV4Seasons.com and I'm very excited because today I get to do a review on the Nature Power 1800 solar generator. They were nice enough to send me one of these to check out, do a review on, and so I put it through a lot of paces, all the tests, and I have to say I really like this guy. It's a beast. Now what this is portable power that can be recharged using wind, solar, or you can even plug it into your house and charge it up and take it with you when it's time to go. So the thing that I really like about this guy is the 1800 watt pure sine wave inverter that's inside the main unit. So everything's self-contained, it's all ready to go. But the difference between a modified sine wave inverter and a pure sine wave inverter is the wave, the power wave. Now at your home, in your house, you have a nice pure sine wave that goes like this. And that's great. You can run anything off that, any kind of electronics, it's all going to be very happy. Now the problem comes in with cheaper inverters that use a modified sine wave inverter. The wave is kind of like a square and there's a little gap in power every cycle. And so sometimes that can cause problems or damage sensitive electronics. And so I really like that this unit has a pure sine wave inverter so I can trust it with absolutely anything like my laptops, TVs, anything like that. It's going to be completely fine. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put it through some tests and paces a little further down the road, but right now we'll go over all the specs and different features this guy has, and it's a lot. So I'm going to try and get through everything as quick as I can. We're going to start in the front panel. On the front panel, you're going to have a DC plug, and that's a DC outlet just like you would have in your car that you can plug in anything you want. You're also going to have 3 AC receptacles that are just like at your house, 3-prong. And then next to that, you're going to have 2 USB ports. And these are 2 amp USB ports. Some are 1 amp, some are 2. Your phone takes a lot longer to charge off 1 amp than it does on 2. So I like that these are full 2 amp USB ports, and you have 2 of those right there to charge your phones, iPods, anything like that. Right above all of your plug-in receptacles, you're going to have a little power indicator right here. So you can press 1 to test and see how much power you're going to have left in your battery, and it's an LED indicator that goes up. And then on the other side, you're going to have your power button to activate the unit. And in the middle, you have a display that tells you when your power's on. And it also displays the kilowatts coming out of the unit. So you can tell the difference between, a hair dryer and some smaller stuff that you have plugged in. It's going to tell you how much power is coming out of the unit in kilowatts, which is pretty cool. Now in the back of the unit, they gave you even more stuff back there. You have 3 more AC receptacles, just like you'd find in your house, 3-prong. In the back, so you can plug, you have 6 plugs, which is great. That gives you a lot of options for things that you can plug in. And you're also going to have your power receptacle that you can plug it in at home and charge it up. And on the right side, you're going to have your solar in port, so you can plug in up to 120 watt solar panel. And the great thing about this is it has a charge controller built in. So you don't need a solar panel with a charge controller and all that stuff, just the panel. Plugs right in there, and it's an 8 amp charge controller. So you plug that in, it's going to automatically charge up the battery and give you power that way. Now right below it is a wind port. So if you have a wind generator, you can actually plug that guy right in there. I believe it's up to 140 watts, and that's going to charge the battery as well. So that's really cool that they added that. So depending on whichever one you have both of those set up. And on the top, you have a little plate that's going to lift open, and you have your fuses right there, and you also have a plug-in port to expand the power. Now, that's another really cool thing about this unit is its ability to be expanded. So they sell auxiliary boxes that match them in color, so they look good, everything's color coordinated, and it has an additional 80 amp hour battery inside of it. So every time you add one of these auxiliary boxes, you double your capacity. You go from 80 to 160 and so forth, and you can add up to 3 of these boxes to really have a large solar system with a huge battery bank. So if the power ever goes out or there's an emergency or you need it for any reason, you can have as much power as you need, and you can add these really easy. The way you add one of these auxiliary boxes is you simply disconnect the cable from the side, and then you plug it right into the back of the base unit, and you've just doubled your power. And another really cool thing about the auxiliary boxes that come with this unit is not only in the front they have an additional 12 volt socket so you can keep plugging more things in. You have one of those sockets in the front, and each battery box has its own 8 amp charge controller and a solar in port. So every time you add a box, you can add another solar panel up to 8 amps that's going to feed right into that, and it's going to charge that battery box all on its own. If you don't get another panel and you just have one hooked up to the main unit, it's still going to charge the other batteries as well. But I like that you can expand it for more solar. You can add up to 3 of those boxes, I believe, and so you add 120, 120, 120, 120, and you're at about 480 watts of solar, and that's pretty significant. And each battery box can have its own charge controller, which is very, very cool. Let's see what else. I wanted to also point out that the main unit has a lead acid battery in it that's pretty good size. It has a lot of power packed in there, but it makes it a little heavy. And the great thing that they did is they put some nice big wheels on it and gave you a luggage style extending rack that you can pull out, lift up, and transport it pretty much anywhere. And that makes it so much easier to kind of get that around anywhere you want to get it to. I don't have a problem lifting this into my car or truck or anything like that. So it's still portable, but the wheels just make it so much easier. And so I really like that they did that. And if you want to mount it somewhere, say in your hunting cabin or anything like that, where you want to get some power out there where you don't have it run, you can take the wheels and the cart off and just set it there and leave it there permanently installed if you want to. But I really like the carry case, the carry handle, the wheels, all that good stuff. So that's pretty cool that they did that as well. Another cool feature that I realized that it had is you can be used as a UPS power supply device. So you have 3 outlets in the back, and if you're plugged into AC power at home, you can plug in your desktop computer or anything like that that you want to keep running, alarm clocks, things like that. If there's ever an interruption in your power, you have a power outage, it's going to automatically kick in and keep everything that's plugged in on. So it's like an emergency backup power supply. So if you're on your desktop, it's not going to turn off. You're not going to lose all your work. Your alarm clocks, all that stuff is going to stay on and powered up for you. So I really thought that was a cool feature that they just kind of threw in there for us to use if you're not using it to go camping. It still serves a pretty cool function. So I really like that they also built in that UPS backup power supply in the back. Right now, I would like to go ahead and jump out and put it through some of the paces and really show you guys what this guy can do. So let's jump out there and plug a whole bunch of stuff into it and see how it does. All right, guys, I really wanted to push this guy and see how far we could push it. What we have plugged in right here is a 12-volt DC oscillating fan. My Galaxy S7 smartphone that is charging off a 2-amp USB port. We still have one left over there. I have my Ryobi quick charger right there for my drill. I'm also going to have my 2 camera batteries that I've been shooting with all day. My nice big laptop right there that is powered on. I hope you can see it, but I know the sun's hitting it dead on. And then just to knock things up a lot, my 60-inch LCD flat screen TV, which is just nuts. And I hope you guys realize the risk I'm taking bringing this guy out here and hooking it up. And the reason I trust to do that is because this is a pure sine wave inverter. A modified sine wave inverter might damage sensitive electronics, but this is a pure sine wave, so it's just like plugging it into your house. So I trust it 100%, and it is running all of these pretty power-hungry things at one time. So that's really impressive. We still have room for two more outlets in the back. We're using 4 out of 6 right now. And we have room for another USB, another 12-volt coming off that other battery over here. And then we have 2 more plugs in the back. And so we'll just kind of circle around here and I'll show you guys what's going on in the back. We have our auxiliary battery connected, and in the back we have our solar coming in, and we also have my TV plugged in here in the back. And as you can see, it is not plugged into power. Okay, so it's completely running off its internal power source, and it's powering all of these things. Now, if we really, really want to push it, and I kind of do, let's go in the back here and plug in this very old drill from like the 60s or 70s. This is very power hungry, takes a lot of amps. And let's plug it in and see if we can get that guy to kick on here. If the TV and everything stayed on, that is just nuts. So let me have a look over here. The TV is absolutely still playing, just like nothing happened. I know it's kind of bright for you guys, but take my word for it, TV's on, laptop's on, everything stayed on. That is nuts. That's a really good amount of power to come out of an inverter with its own built-in power source. And of course, you're gonna have all of that recharged by solar and you can get as many auxiliary boxes as you want to add on to that. That's really impressive. Really, really cool, you guys. So as you can see, that was pretty impressive. And I definitely would not have trusted my 60-inch LCD flat screen TV to anything that wasn't a pure sine wave inverter, because if it had gone out, the entire household would have killed me. So I really liked it as a pure sine wave, and I trusted it completely, and it performed really, really well. It kept everything on, and we had a lot of stuff plugged into it. But I thought, let's go ahead and push it a little bit further and use some of our bigger amp devices. So I'm going to take it out and test it on a wet dry vac, full-size wet dry vac, to vacuum out the car and just see if it can handle something that pulls a lot of amps like that. So let's go check that out real quick. All right, so we handled the wet dry vac test, which I thought was really cool because I don't have to run extension cords out there. I can just wheel it out there with me and clean out the cars and stuff, which is pretty cool. But the main reason that I really like to test this stuff out is for our RV community, of course. And so I wanted to test it out on an RV. And what I did is basically just plugged in my 30 amp service to the RV. I put an adapter plug on it, and then plugged that in, and basically what we had was the RV plugged into shore power. Now, of course, this isn't a full 30 amp service. You can't run your air conditioner and all of your appliances at one off this guy. It's an 1800 watt inverter, not a true 30 amp service like you're plugged into. But I was really impressed at what it could handle. Now, when you're in your RV and you're not hooked into shore power, you're way out there in the middle of nowhere and you're dry camping, you have to run your generator. If you would like your microwave or your fridge to run off AC or anything like that, and also all of your power outlets installed in your RV. If you don't have a built-in inverter into your battery bank system, then as you know, none of your AC outlets work in your entire RV. You plug in your phone, nothing happens unless you're plugged in to shore power or your generator's running, and then all of your outlets work. So what I did is I plugged in the 1800, I turned it on, and now guess what? All of my AC outlets work. My batteries are being charged. And as you can see here, I'm going to plug in my phone again, and it's going to start charging. So now I have access to all those AC outlets. So if you have, everybody's trying to charge their iPads and their phones and their things and their batteries, now every single plug works in your RV, which I thought alone is very, very cool. It's also trickle charging your battery through your converter. And I was also able to run the refrigerator, my gas electric refrigerator, off AC. So as you'll notice right here in the video, it's running off gas, and I'm going to turn on the 1800, and then it's going to switch over to AC power. So now we're running our refrigerator off AC, which we're getting solar if you have solar hooked into this unit, which I thought was really, really cool. I also wanted to push it really far and try the microwave. So I turned everything else off. I turned off the fridge because a microwave takes a lot of power, especially this one. This is a 1982 Magic Chef beast of a microwave. And a lot of microwaves are 1,000 watts, sometimes more. And so I thought that would be a really big test to see if this guy could handle that. I did plug in my other auxiliary box. So I had the aux box, the main unit, plugged in just to give it a little, make sure it was going to have enough oomph. And I went ahead and turned on the microwave, and it did work. It pulled power, it heated it up, and I turned it off, and it actually ran that. So I thought that was really, really impressive. And I did all that without a noisy generator or anything like that. And I do not have a big inverter and a huge battery bank in my RV. I have one 12-volt battery, no inverter. And so running the microwave any other way would pretty much be impossible without running the generator, which is really loud. So I like that just plugging that in kind of kept everything running off quiet energy. All of my plugs worked. And if you have solar panels and a couple aux boxes or anything like that, you can run your fridge. And if you needed to, you could run that microwave for a while. But I don't know how long it'd last, because pulling 1,000 watts or more of power is going to drain any battery system. But I was really impressed that it was able to actually run it. So that's pretty cool. That really was a good test for that inverter. And I thought that was pretty impressive. So I wanted to share that with you guys as well. If you want to check these out, go ahead and click the link below. in the video, and it'll take you over to their website. They have different kits and different options that come with panels or not, and different auxiliary boxes. So go over there to check out the packages that they have over at Nature Power if you want to pick one of these up for yourself. And I'll definitely put that in the description below. But I was really impressed with how this guy behaved and how it performed. And I can't believe it ran the wet dry vac, and the microwave blew my mind, because that's pretty impressive for an inverter that's portable. So you don't have to do the wiring, you don't have to install all this stuff. It's just a portable, completely self-contained solar generating system that you can use for your prepper cabin or your hunting cabin or fishing or camping or RVing. It's a really cool source of power that you can charge using solar, wind, or just plug it in at your house and take it with you when you're all ready to go. So I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to share that with you guys. My name is Jim with RV4Seasons.com, and as always, thanks for watching and happy camping.